Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get-together live here on Facebook, where we try to jazz up our day with headlines and news from our city, Guadalajara, our city, Puerto Vallarta, our state, Jalisco, our country, Mexico, and of course, all the wonderful news and tips and questions that you bring to the mix, so that we can stay inspired and excited and insightful about what goes on in our lives here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. It's always a pleasure to get together with you. And of course, on Monday, Monday's always a great day because it's the beginning of the week. We have great expectations, and today is no exception. Today is Monday, September 20th. So we have a few headlines, but before we get into that, I want to remind you that if you're watching for the first time, well, this is what we do and this is who we are. And we'd love to find out if you're watching for the first time. You can let us know by writing the word new in your comment, then we'll give you a nice little welcome. And also, if you have something truly important that you wish to discuss or you wish for us to react to on your comments, it helps a great deal if you add your comment with the letter Q. That way, we'll be looking for it during our chit-chat section at the end of the broadcast. We begin today with our headlines, which have to do with vaccination campaigns. They have to do with rain and more rain and more rain. It just is raining a lot here in town. And a couple of surprises in one of the main roads in Puerto Vallarta. A sinkhole appeared out of nowhere. So we get to do that, and then, of course, we get to report on our walk to Moro Paraiso yesterday, where there was water flowing everywhere, and it was absolutely majestic. We have a new person. Hello, Manfred Mack. Welcome to Coffee and Headlines. It is a pleasure to see you here. Grab your favorite... Yes. Grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation. So, as I was saying, we went to we went to Moro Paraiso yesterday, and there was just water everywhere, and it's just amazing. And I've been feeling a little, I want to go to San Sebastian. I want to travel. I want to go to San Sebastian. I want to go to Guadalajara. So yesterday in my files, I found these short videos that I want to share with you today. But first, let us go through our news, and then we'll take it from there. Well, as I mentioned just a second ago, we begin our news section with excellent news. The second vaccination campaign for folks in their 30s is finally here. With this one final campaign we've been waiting for, all age groups will have had the opportunity to receive their first and second shot for those vaccines that require two. As we know, folks in their 30s receive the AstraZeneca vaccine, but this vaccination campaign also contemplates a second shot of the Sinovac vaccine for folks 18 to 29 that may have missed their second shot opportunity a few weeks ago. vaccines will be available at La Lija and the Naval Hospital, where, as I can read, only the Sinovac vaccine will be available and priority will be given to pregnant women. The campaign goes on between tomorrow and Friday of this week. Now, based on what we learned, it would seem that if you are 18 to 29 and looking for a second Sinovac shot, you should go to the Naval Hospital, but there was no clarity to that effect. I could not find any further clarity on this article that I found online. But what is clear is that this vaccination campaign is only for second shots, not for first timers. So if you happen to be 18 to 29 and you're wondering, should I go to La Lija or should I go to the Naval Hospital? We don't have an answer for you, not because we are holding on to it, but we just couldn't find details about this. If you are in your 30s, it's as clear as day. You go to La Lija and you'll be taken care of. But in order to avoid going to La Lija, if you are 18 to 29 and you get there and all of a sudden you find out that your vaccine is only available at the Naval Hospital, you may want to wait at least one day so that news outlets have had an opportunity to disseminate this information a little bit further. But all around, this is great news because we're getting closer and closer to wrapping up our vaccination campaigns. As we've mentioned a couple of days ago, there is still no news for vaccine campaigns for those that missed vaccination altogether, but we are hoping that this will be made available sometime next month. Let's see, moving right along, a small but dangerous sinkhole was identified along the lateral road of Francisco Medina Ascencio Avenue near Montessori Street, causing authorities to close down the street for further inspection. The hole is 24 inches in diameter and it's full of water. They can't really tell how deep it is because it's been raining nonstop. But authorities have closed the road to traffic, and this will remain so until they're able to determine the size and depth of the sinkhole in order to repair it. It rained a lot this weekend in Puerto Vallarta. So there are many, many reports of running water going places near running water. Let me start again because I noticed that I wanted to show you this really bad photograph. It rained a lot and there's water everywhere. This particular news item with a colorful photo shows the Pitillal River overflowing at night, late at night, where there was not enough light to illuminate this photograph. Or maybe that's what they claim. I think I would have been fired by Vallarta Lifestyles if I had ever published such a remarkable photo in my tenure there. Anyhow, folks in Colonia Garza Blanca, San Esteban, and Ex Hacienda del Pitillal had to move their cars Saturday night to keep them from being pulled by the nearby river current. There were also emergency calls in Ixtapa and Las Juntas. In town, floods were reported along Medina Ascencio Avenue, in Francisco Villa Avenue, and around the recently improved lateral near the Coppel store near Calle Francia, where water rose as much as 40 centimeters. So much for street improvements. You would have thought that with all the new pavement that is going on, they would have fixed the the draining of water, and apparently they did not. This reminds me that when I went to the movies this past Friday night, it was pouring out, and the Uber driver went down the new and improved Francia Street, where you'd think they would have addressed the water flow problem. Well, it was a lagoon. Will we have more water, more rain this week? Let's take a look at the weather to see what's in store for us. Ha ha ha! That cloud looks like your mom, says our snarky carrot weather. We are enjoying 27 degrees right now. Celsius feels like 30. Humidity, it's only 83%. How about that? And for those of you that get along with Fahrenheit, it is 81 degrees out there. Our weather forecast for today calls for a humid and partly cloudy day throughout the day. High temperature of 32, low temperature of 24. Humid and partly cloudy tomorrow, high temperature of 33, low temperature of 25. And Wednesday, it will rain overnight with a high temperature of 34, low temperature of 24. Not bad. But all this rain, Christy says rain is nice, but enough already. Well, I tell you, yesterday, a group of friends and I walked down to Moro Paraiso up the Rio Cuale for some fun and merriment, but also to check in on the community of horseback riding tour providers we support, thanks to your beautiful and gracious contributions. With all the rain we received, you can expect there was water flowing everywhere, and I captured some of it, but I was not looking for destruction. I was looking for the beauty of Mother Nature doing its thing just minutes outside of the city. Take a look. I must say, I have been wanting to be at Moro Paraiso while it pours, and my wish finally was granted yesterday. We were sitting at Moro Paraiso. You could see in that final scene, if you're familiar with Moro Paraiso, um, it was pouring. It was pouring, and usually I get excited about rain, but the roads have been so tender and vulnerable, with all the water that is coming down. We were grateful that our trusty taxi driver Francisco came and picked us up and brought us back into the city without major incident. Moving right along, let's see. I can tell you that with school back in session in many parts of the country, families with children are no longer able to sneak away on vacation this time of year. But it continues to be summer for a few days, and lodging in Puerto Vallarta tends to be less expensive in this final stretch of summer than in the rest of the season. A study by Booking.com indicates that in average, it is 23% more affordable to book a room in Puerto Vallarta now. So, is it time for a staycation? For some, perhaps. For me, I'm once again pining for a trip elsewhere, and Guadalajara and San Sebastián del Oeste are at the top of my list. In Guadalajara, I'm eagerly waiting for confirmation for the Metropolitan Opera. Sunday matinee broadcasts to resume. I've been checking the different news outlets and the Teatro Diana website to see if they announced this, but they haven't made an announcement, and the broadcasts are supposed to start in 3 weeks. And as far as San Sebastián del Oeste is concerned, there is absolutely nothing new to look forward to. And that's the beauty of this lovely Pueblo Mágico located in the mountains some 90 minutes outside of Puerto Vallarta. Case in point, I ran into 2 short video features I produced years ago before we began broadcasting Coffee and Headlines. And just about every scene featured in this short video that I'm going to share with you looks exactly the same as it did then. The first one is just a walk around San Sebastián del Oeste. Take a look. So, what do we do in San Sebastián del Oeste? Nothing. San Sebastián is a great place to just chill, to read a book, to walk, to hike around nature, to enjoy the pine trees. There are pine trees, to enjoy the fog when it sets in the afternoons, and of course, to enjoy wonderful food. And there are a number of restaurants in San Sebastián that one can enjoy, but there is only one Montebello. You would never expect to find such an amazing Italian restaurant in a town this size, but there is Montebello in San Sebastián del Oeste, and we are so grateful for that. A visit to San Sebastián del Oeste would not be complete without checking out this awesome little restaurant. Take a look. Just got hungry all of a sudden. This wraps up our features for today. As you can tell, I'm just like giddy about getting out of town, and hopefully we'll be able to do that in the near future. But I wanted to share some of this with you because if you have not yet been to San Sebastián del Oeste, oh my goodness, it's such a beautiful town to visit. It's great for a day trip if you start very early in the day, and accommodations are very, very affordable, certainly this time of year. Is it easy to get to? Well, there's all those landslides, and we'll talk about that. I noticed a couple of questions during, a couple of comments during the video broadcast. So let us take a look at our comments for this morning to see what everybody is up to. It is always nice to see local good mornings like this one from Glee Audrey, who's watching from Cinco de Diciembre. And then it's great to hear from folks that are elsewhere, such as Rita, our dear friend that lives in Fluvial, but she's watching from Philadelphia. It is great to see you all and to say hello to you all. Let's see. I know that my good friend Tommy went for a cooking class yesterday. Not at a school or anything, but with another dear friend. I hope they had a good time and they learned some new cooking skills. Congratulations, Fernando, because Fernando's getting his PhD degree. We would love to know what in, so that we congratulate you further. Um, let's see. This has no cue, but it is important. I know some folks under 30 who missed out on the first dose. Where can they go for that? Certainly not in Puerto Vallarta, at least not right now. We understand that all those catch up campaigns for people who missed the boat entirely for whatever reason may be coming next month. So we keep our fingers crossed for that. Let's see what else we have. Dun 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 dun. Boom boom. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody really wants to go to Guadalajara. Tell me you have no idea. I just checked Ticketmaster website again. I checked Teatro Diana website again, and it's not announced just yet. But the moment they announce the opera, I'm hopping on a bus. I think I've gotten over my phobia of the bus. I'm getting myself to Guadalajara. I'm just itching for it. Let's see. The United States has now announced a program stating that good for the United States. Okay, is the sinkhole on a part of the new construction lateral? The answer is yes. But Karen, the sinkholes have their nature. I mean, or I don't know what they are, but they just appear wherever they want to appear. Let's see. Uh, Francia is a mess. Just tried to walk it this morning. I don't blame you. Um, it is a mess. Let's see what else we have. Comments about the videos. Thank you so very much for that. Let's see what else we have. Mother Nature Monday. I love it. Didn't intend to do that, but yeah, Mother Nature Monday. Um, it is amazing. I mean, it is amazing. And again, I sound like a broken record, but walking up river is such an easy walk, so close to Puerto Vallarta and so full of natural beauty. I just wish for more people to explore that general direction. Um, let's see what else. I read this beautiful thought from Ramona halfway through the broadcast. I love your positive attitude. You're an inspiration. That is why I watch every day. Thank you very much, Ramona. But I'll be the first person to say that I have dark days as well, and I'm never afraid to speak about that. Anyone who suffers from clinical depression should feel comforted in this broadcast because it's part of our daily life, and staying healthy in that regard is part of our daily routine as well. Let's see what else we have. Love Montebello, says Logan. Such a romantic story behind how Walter and Coco came into one another's lives and managed to build their little dream up in San Sebastian. This is true. It is a beautiful story. I'm not going to tell the story because I don't know it exactly. I know my version, but I would want to check it again for accuracy. There you go. Any update on the comedy interview? Well, Mark, we had the broadcast, and the person that reached out to me saw the broadcast, and I think it was a little bit of an eye opener for them to see that an increasingly clear divide between the expectations of tourist audiences and local or audiences as it relates to the type of entertainment that we have in the city. So I'm sure they're thinking what their options are. Good for them. What I did say to them is, touch base with me when you get to Puerto Vallarta, and we'll take it from there. So the ball is in their court. They may or may not send us additional information, but at least we know that there is a comedy troupe out there trying to make an impression or build a community of followers here in Puerto Vallarta. We wish them the best, but we hope that they will remain mindful that there is such a thing as entertainment for tourists and entertainment for locals. They don't always overlap, and it is up to entertainment providers and the venues to decide how much they want to invest themselves in one audience or the other, or both whenever possible. Um, dun 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 dun. I'm more than happy to drive when the opera is back up and running. You got yourself a deal, says Charlotte. I hope your car is big enough for 20. No, I'm just kidding. In this comment I had seen, can you drive onto Mascota in Talpa? Well, Harold, it depends on the hour of the day and the day of the week. The good old highway keeps getting bombarded by rain, and there's landslides all the time. Some are minor that you can actually go through them. Some are major, and fortunately, we haven't had any casualties that I know of. There have been um, some interruptions in traffic, and this is something that one needs to be willing to embrace when you want to get to the mountains this time of year. Driving at night, out of the question. I would never do it at night, but if you're willing to be slightly adventurous, it's going to the mountains is a good thing. It absolutely is. Thank you for this reminder, Raymond. Our dear friend Michael Young from our broadcast, our resident opera singer, is on his way to his new home in Puerto Vallarta today. We wished him and his husband much success in their trip, and I'm sure they will come up for air once they're settled, and we look forward to hearing about where they end up settling, because I know that they were looking for a place to live, and we don't know where they ended up uh, deciding on living, or maybe they have temporary. We have no idea what's going on, but we wish them the best. And this, of course, brings us to the end of our Monday broadcast. I hope you were inspired by some of the videos. I hope you were interested in exploring these places, because they are here. They're part of what we have within our hands, and they are beautiful, beautiful options for anyone that wants to get out and get some fresh air. Tomorrow, Tuesday, we come back with more news and tacos and all kinds of things, and we'll see what happens for the rest of the week between now and then. Please stay kind, stay healthy, stay hungry, keep adding things to look forward to in your lives, because it is good things to look forward to that keeps us happy, I think. At least that works for me. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.